From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on Lalate.
It's a big midday here on LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, live from Santa Monica. In this recording, we go over the incredible great news of that $3.5 trillion recon that passed that will pay viewers of this channel upwards of about $15,000 from three clusters: one, hazard pay; two, home repairs; three, seniors, and a lot of other items, all covered in this video. Then the push underway to add an additional $25,000 on top of that. Whoa, where did that come from? The push to add those monthly stimulus checks, and now a chief of staff praising the viewers of this channel who have brought in 3 million phone calls of advocacy. Whoa, what's going on? I have the latest details. Then the push to add in there more money, including money for seniors and SSDI from Bob Casey. You're hearing this for the first time at noontime. Then we go over the big lift for COLA. Your benefits are going up 5 to 6% in the next few weeks. This is huge. Student loan debt forgiveness, a major announcement as more debt is now forgiven. And then we have the latest details about third stimulus, fifth stimulus, and also the vote for the recon. So much happening, and we're just getting started. By the end of this week, you should be getting money from this channel, because that's third stimulus. I'm going to show you how to get it as well, because it's a big day. It's a big noontime. I'm excited for all the breaking news. We have a big recording today. A lot of breaking news, and the new jobs numbers coming out. They are incredible. It's noontime, and it starts right now. Hey, good noontime, everybody. How you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful day across the country. Hope the weather is good where you are. It is cool and breezy and nice and easy here in Santa Monica, California. Hope the weather is good where you are. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from at live at noontime. In this recording, the fourth stimulus check update of 2021 is getting deliciousness as three clusters of checks, 1, 2, and 3, pay viewers this channel upwards of about $15,000. This is if you're single. This is you if you're on SSI and SSDI. This is you if you're a senior. Meantime, what are they doing to keep items in there, and what are they doing to add things to there? I have the latest details as Chuck Schumer says he's adding in a monthly stimulus check. We have Maxine Waters saying she's adding in $25,000. We have Bob Casey saying now he's adding in provisions that would pay more money to people on disability and seniors. Whoa, what is going on? I have the latest details in this recording. We got breaking details about student loan debt forgiveness, breaking details about your benefits checks going up, and big news about third stimulus, and then the jobs numbers coming in, and fifth stimulus. Boy, it's coming on strong with a lot of moolah, and it's just getting started. And this is noontime. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, an Lalate record in 1 year. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video and consider becoming a member. I'm really excited for you, because coming up after this show is Afternoons at Lalate at 1 o'clock, Afternoons Lalate at 3, Evenings Lalate at 5 o'clock. We got Street and Stimulus at 7. Before that is Evenings Countdown at 6. But guess what? After Sirloin at 8 o'clock, from 9 to 11:30 at night, all the way to next morning at 3:30, are our overnight shows now all about fourth stimulus. What's going on? I'll explain it later in this video. But let's turn to the big exciting details about those three clusters of checks. Three clusters of checks in a $3.5 trillion recon, and that is for you. For everyone, single individuals, married couples, seniors, everyone, red states, blue states, pays you about $15,000. Let's go over each of them, starting right now. First cluster of checks has hazard pay in there, and $4,000 of elder care. Wow. So what is this? Let's go over all the details. Cluster number 1 has hazard pay up to by broadening the earned income tax credit, expanding the eligibility. Then they got money in there for $4,000 of elder care per year, up to $4,000 a year to care for your young child as well. Then they got money to fix your home if you live in a low-income community. Totally free money. It's incredible. Then they got $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks in there as well. This is the CTC, the child tax credit, broadening the eligibility and increasing the payment. How much? Up to $300 every month. $300 every month, every year, approximately for 18 years if the household remains low income. That's approximately $51,000 per child. They got money in there for bikes, cars, and trucks, all electric, all U.S. auto manufactured. How much? 15% for the purchase of a new electric bike. $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, and a little bit more if it's for business use or if it's a truck. Wow. In a second, we go to the second cluster of checks, but no one saw this check coming. $25,000 of checks? Yes. Maxine Waters, Sharon Brown, and Raphael Warnock had now introduced legislation to be added to the recon that would pay you hard, cold cash of $25,000 to purchase a new home. This is for first-time home buyers, and this would come directly to you. How do I think they're going to do this? I think they're going to do it during escrow, where the federal government will pay $25,000 to the seller, so that alleviates some of the price tag off the purchase of that house. Incredible. Now let's turn to the second cluster of checks, and they got those in there as well. Remember, this recon is for everyone. And it's for you, and it has nothing to do with the pandemic. It's just life in general. And if you're with me as a viewer, you're going to get about $15,000 a year from these three clusters. Cluster number 2, home repairs and paid leave. Paid family leave and paid medical leave. How much does that pay? A lot. $1,500 a week, approximately, if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 a year. $400 a week if you make $15,000 a year. Paid family leave, you have to stay home because of work, because your wife is pregnant. Paid medical leave, you have to stay home because your son broke his leg. They got checks in there for child care programs, checks for household tax credits, and then they got checks in there to weatherize your home. That's more money for that home again. Yes, weatherizing your home. Definitely need to weatherize your home, especially if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always say, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House. And wherever possible, keep the moderate Democrats out of the Senate. There you go. Well, they also got into this second cluster of checks, pre-kindergarten totally free and tuition-free community college. Wow. Now, before we go to the third cluster of checks, what's Congress doing? Well, what are they not doing? They have fascinating exchanges of words between Bernie Sanders, Pelosi, Jalapa, Bob Casey, and I'm going to go over them right now. First, Bernie has now said this week that it's absolutely incumbent upon the senators and the few members of the House that are in opposition to start telling us what they want. He's referring to the moderate Democrats. Kristen Sinema says she does not like the cheaper prescription medications. It's coming up in the third cluster. And Joe Manchin does not like the climate. I don't really cover it on this channel. But Bernie also said the reason why it's important is because we don't know what they don't like. And that's been a consistent theme with the president, asking the moderate Democrats, what do you want to do with the recon, and then not answering. Well, Bernie says we should not be negotiating with ourselves. And so he doesn't know what number he should go to. He says, well, we're prepared to negotiate, but we're prepared to compromise, but we're not going to negotiate with ourselves. Meantime, there's a surface transportation deadline. And is that deadline a faux deadline or real deadline? I'll explain in just a second. And then, do they remove programs from the recon, or do they add programs and just shorten the duration? I'll explain that in a second. But first, the big news. More money. We've seen one item, $25,000 to buy a new home. Here's another new item they're proposing to add in there, and it's huge. $250 billion for people on SSI, SSDI, and seniors. Bob Casey, who's 61 years old, is proposing more money to be given to older people and people with disability through Medicaid. This is huge. What is he thinking? He's thinking that a lot of people have their son and daughter stay home from work to care for the elder person because home health care is too expensive. So he's proposing to reform the system so that you can have free home health care if you're a certain age or disabled, so that your son and daughter can go back in the workforce. It's a double benefit because suddenly you get more benefits as a senior or person on disability, and suddenly the other person does not have to be dependent, does not have to stay home from work. They can go to work and we have a reduction of the labor shortage. Bob Casey says, with all this talk, families are really benefiting a lot, and we haven't done this in really 40 years. He also says he has to constantly repeat this and explain this across the board. Wow. We got another cluster checks that people are proposing to go in there. But first, let's go to the third cluster. And the third cluster also passed, includes checks for seniors. That's why I like to put Bob Casey's comment before this third cluster, because it's an addition to this in the third cluster that already has money in there for seniors. So in the third cluster already passed, includes free school meals for all, checks, cheaper prescription medication, checks, checks for farmers, checks for clean energy, checks for free internet, checks for workers like independent contractors, and checks for seniors already passed, dental, vision, hearing care, and lowering the eligibility age for Medicare. Well, here comes another exclusive, and guess who this exclusive is from? Also Bob Casey. Larica, a longtime viewer of this channel, via Bob Casey, now reports that Casey is proposing in this recon, already passed in cluster number 3, a drop of the Medicare eligibility age from 65 to 60. Wow, that is incredible. And guess what they're still pushing to add in there? Those monthly stimulus checks. And new at noontime is this. A chief of staff of one of the most important senators for your recon spoke to a viewer last night and reported 3 million of you have now contacted that senator's office. This senator's office now reports that they have received more phone calls of advocacy from the Lalate Purple Power than the number of signatures in the now well-known American Petition. The American Petition, if you go online, is currently at 2.9 million signatures. The senator's office from the chief of staff reports that Lalate has now delivered more advocacy phone calls than even the number of signatures on the American Petition, which is 2.9 trillion. They say that everyone in Congress is talking about this channel, is talking about you, and is talking about your advocacy, and you cannot stop. And guess who wants to take care of the situation? Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, in a message to Debbie Applegate last Friday, his staff, Schumer's office, says that he will add a monthly stimulus check provision in there. And she's not the only one to have heard that message. Donnie's wife a week before. Let's go over how this recon works and where the recon is going. We have a $3.5 trillion recon with 3 clusters passed 2 weeks ago in a House subcommittee on a Saturday night. 3 clusters that will pay most viewers of this channel about $15,000. Then we have Bob Casey looking to add in money for seniors. We have Maxine Waters looking to add $25,000 in there to buy a new home. And now we have Chuck Schumer and others proposing to add in those monthly stimulus checks. How do they add things in there? 2 ways, but multiple different options across the board. House or Senate. First on the House, they can add it to that recon, which is just a package, not currently yet a bill. The author, Sheila Jackson, Democrat out of Texas, and the number 2 in the Progressive Caucus. She wrote it. It can be added into that package. Number 2, it can be added to the House bill before they call the vote. Once they have a House bill, if it's not in there, they can add it to the House bill before they call a vote. And number 3, the most important one, a vote-a-rama on the Senate. The Senate will receive whatever is in the House bill in the Senate. And when they look at it, if it's not taken care of the way they want to take care of it, they have a 2-day vote-a-rama. What is this 2-day vote-a-rama? They introduce changes to whatever the House did or didn't do. And who goes over the vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines what's called for a vote during the vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines what is added for this vote-a-rama? Chuck Schumer. They introduce proposed changes / amendments to whatever the House had for you. And who determines that? Chuck Schumer. And finally, who says that he wants to add a monthly stimulus check provision in there? Chuck Schumer's office. We got a lot of this coming up in the second half of this video, plus the big exciting news about the new jobs numbers released earlier today, the new surprise about 6% about where your COLA benefits is raising your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. I'll go over how this is really incredible great news because you're going to get another lift when fifth stimulus becomes law. Then we'll be going over to what the legislators are doing to make changes across the board. for that recon. And then we go to third stimulus. We got a lot coming up. It's a jam-packed recording. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds and show you also how to get big sums of money as you go into a weekend. That's money right now. It's right this week. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA. And at Big Noontime continues live from Santa Monica with exciting details of the second half of this video as we go over more about that $3.5 trillion recon that pays you about $15,000. We go more over those monthly stimulus checks. We go over more about that $25,000 from Maxine Waters, more about that money from Bob Casey that he's proposing to add in there as well. And then we go over to the big exciting details of when the vote is, how they get the vote, and what they're doing. We'll be going over that big COLA raise of your benefits. It's happening in just a few days, and I'll explain to you how it works with this stimulus, which raises you even more. Wow. And then we go over to third stimulus, which has a lot of money right today for you and the nonprofits. And then we'll be turning to the exciting details of what's coming up next. It's a big recording and it's a big noontime, and I'm excited you're here. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next up, 1 million. Hit that subscribe button right now. In this video, you're going to learn how to get money this week. You're going to end the week with money you didn't start the week with. Then also like the video and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is the Afternoons LA show at 1 o'clock. This video will automatically take you there. Let's turn to something that no one saw coming, which is that huge, big student loan debt forgiveness that came in just this week. Wow. Earlier, the president had announced student loan debt forgiveness of individuals who became disabled after graduation. Now, the president has now added to it. The president's now forgiving student loan debts for individuals who went into the nonprofit sector after graduation for 10 years. The president has also now forgiven student loan debts for people who went into work for government, city, county, or state, or federal for 10 years after graduation. Wow. And the president's also indicating he's set to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt for individuals. This is a biggie. Of course, there's a push underway still to get to $50,000. Wow. Meantime, let's go back to the understanding of what's going on with these legislators. As we look at a recon, it is huge, $3.5 trillion. It has 3 clusters of checks in there to start that'll pay viewers of this channel about $15,000. As soon as it becomes law, I'm going to show you on this channel how to get this money. Then there's the push to add certain things, the $25,000 for the home, the Bob Casey money for elder assistance, and disability assistance, and of course those monthly stimulus checks. So what is the legislators doing on bringing the recon from 3.5 to a different price tag? A week ago, we had the progressives all saying that any items that were in there are staying in there. All programs are staying in there, and that no program is being reduced. We'll check back right now and see if that's still the case. And then we have them talking about changes on duration and taxes. So is there a change now a week after they said they're not going to remove a program? Let's go over this. Well, a week ago, the progressives said A program that's in there is not coming out, meaning $4,000 for elder care. The program's not going to be wiped out of the recon. And it's also not going to get watered down to, let's say, $100 a year from $4,000. So, is that changed that notion? So far, it looks like it's not changed. What's going on? Nancy Pelosi had a press conference and said that we have two ways to approach the recon to bring it from 3.5 down into the $2 trillion range: shorten durations or remove programs. And Pelosi said we have some important decisions to make in the next few days, and those decisions could be today. Yeah, because she said that statement on Tuesday. Well, Bernie Sanders said, we're prepared to negotiate, but we're not negotiating with ourselves, because he's not quite sure, Bernie, where to bring the number two if you don't have the moderate Democrats telling you where to bring it to. Nancy Pelosi and the president have set an October 31st deadline by October 31st to call a vote on the recon and the roads and bridges, but to get the formulation of everything in the next few days done. Well, Jalopal says that date, don't do a fake deadline date with me. What is Jalopal talking about? The surface transportation deadline. It's a deadline that was used in the month of September, saying the surface transportation funding will run out. Jalopal said, no, you can just refund it with a call to vote. So Jalopal said the same thing this week. We all want to work as quickly as possible, but the surface transportation extension can always be extended. There you go. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer also says that everyone needs to get this done. It takes a lot of responsibility. As to changing the recon, Jalopal had a quote which is absolutely overwhelming. We would reduce the number of years because the universality of the benefits and the immediacy of the benefits are absolutely critical, and that frankly it's more important to us to have it all having it than for the entire 10 years. What is she talking about? Let's go over all the details. It was a Monday ago, not this Monday, but the Monday before that, I said the way they fix this recon from bringing it from 3.5 trillion to another price tag in the 2 trillion is by shortening the duration. And then 3 days later, Jalopal said the same thing to news. We just shortened the program's duration. At the time, I also said, I don't really know how long a duration Bernie originally wanted the recon to be for the programs when he asked for $7 trillion. And I said on air, I think maybe he wanted 20 years as the program. It looks like that was now the case. That when Bernie Sanders went into the negotiations to do the recon before there was a recon and asked for $7 trillion, the programs worked potentially to run about 20 years. Why so long? That was the president's doing. The president wanted to have programs that would last multi-generations so that after his term of presidency, people would say that was the program that Biden created that lasted for several generations. It didn't happen because during the negotiations, the Democrats said, no, let's do 3.5 trillion. And that brought us to a number that was different than 20. Over the last few days, I said, I think the programs are probably at 10 years, but I'm not certain. Now we got the quote from Jalopal, again confirming my reporting, that the duration of the programs at 3.5 trillion is about 10 years. So how do they get this done? Shortening the duration. And that's exactly what Jalopal said and exactly what I said they should do. If we have 3.5 trillion for programs running 10 years, then just run the programs for 5 years. And that would bring the price tag potentially from 3.5 to 1.7, an easy price tag for a moderate Democrat to agree to. Here's an example of what's at issue. Let me just show you an example. If you have the $4,000 for elder care per year, then you would, if you're eligible for each year, then you would get that each year over 5 years instead of each year over 10 years. Versus the alternative, which is to remove the whole program and not give you anything, or to water down the program and just give you a little bit of pennies, like $100 or $200, and run it for 10 years at $200 a year. No. You and I all know that the situation and the immediacy is a nice check, money right now, and get it out right now, rather than worrying the situation that's abound 4 years from now, or worrying about the situation 9 years from now. We don't need to worry about the situation 9 years. We need to deal with the current present situation. And that's why keeping the programs in there at full funding at the current price tags I show you in this video, where it's about $15,000 a year for this viewership of this channel, that's what you want. You're not really focused on what's happening 8 years from now. You're focused on what's happening right now. And that's why Jalapal's statement is so beautiful. It's exactly what I've been saying, and it's exactly what the progressives want to do. So that's where we are on those negotiations. Now, let's turn to a big surprise, which is COLA. COLA, boy. Everyone's benefits, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits, got a wonderful surprise this week. As the Social Security Administration said, your benefits checks are going up an average of about 5.8%, about 6%. This is huge. This is law. This is not a bill. This is actually law. It's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Everyone's checks are going up. Why am I just ecstatic and elated about this? Because this is where we were hoping this stimulus was going to bring you. When we look back at my videos from August, when I talked about the new benchmark of inflation at 5%, I said your benefits would step up an additional 5%. Now, you're getting it under COLA. But how does that compare against FIS stimulus, and how does it work with FIS stimulus? Is it either or is it a replacement, and what is the benchmark? I've seen that question as well. I'm going to answer all those questions starting right now. First, the COLA raise is law, so everyone's benefits are going to go up an average of about 6% in the next few weeks. That's lifetime. It's not for 1 year. It's lifetime, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Then, what about FIS stimulus? FIS stimulus would be on top of that. Yes. FIS stimulus, they're hoping to get a vote by December. What is FIS stimulus? First, they're going to raise your benefits up one big time. In addition to this COLA thing that's going on right now. One big time on top of that. That's you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits. Number two, FIS stimulus proposes to use a different benchmark than COLA. What is a benchmark? It's just taking your benefits and times it by a number. The current benchmark is COLA. 5.8% is what they're looking at, about 6%. The new benchmark would be inflation. Let's say they don't get the vote on the FIS stimulus until January. So we're into the next year. First, they'll raise your benefits up, then they'll apply in the inflation at the end of the year. Is it on top of the 5.8% you're getting for COLA now? Yes. Yes, first they're going to raise your benefits up under this COLA raise of 5.8% approximately now. Then if FIS stimulus becomes law in early next year, that one-time raise up. Then at the end of the year, you'll get a new lift up with the new inflation rate, whatever that is. Let's say it's 3% inflation, December 2022, you'll go up another 3%. This is huge. They're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. That says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. And they're going to remove the marriage penalty. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest like Rob and Sandy. No longer fear loss of benefits and have your benefits restored if they were canceled because of marriage with the penalty. There you go. That's FIS stimulus, and that's why this COLA is such exciting, great news. Now, labor numbers released this morning, and boy, that was a big shocker. Wonderful news. The new labor numbers released this morning were at 296. What? If you've been with me for this channel, I used to report 1.2 million, 1.3 million, 1.1 million. It's at 296, and if you've known this channel since the very beginning, you know what the very first recording was, that the labor unemployment numbers had shot up from 250,000 pre-pandemic to a higher number. Guess what? We're the first time close to that 250 since the pandemic started. Yes. First time under 300,000 for new jobless claims in a week since the start of the pandemic. It's huge, great news. Now, let's turn over to the big exciting news that is really abound. Third stimulus is still paying people a lot of money, and that money is available for you today. Going into the weekend, have you gotten money from this channel this week? Have you gotten any money from this channel this week? You should have. If you haven't, there's still some time. I'm going to show you how to go into this weekend with money. Last week, Prina was watching my videos in which I said, read the newsletter that talks about the additional money going out from Treasury to your states. She pounced, and last week she started with 0, By the end of the week, she got $6,000 from this channel for 8 months of rent into 2022 from the city of Austin. She says, thank you, Lalate. I want to thank you. When you mentioned the extra $13 billion, I pounced and I got approved. So get that pen, paper ready. I'm going to show you how to get big money right now. And what's the money I'm going to get you? I'm going to get you some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, food, clothing, small appliances, holiday gifts, and more. It's all coming up right now. First, we're going to turn to the rent. We're going to go with some rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. They have different pots of money. They have different eligibility. Number 2, I'm going to show you how some keywords, listen to those keywords, and finally get ready for the nonprofits. And here we go. You're going to reach out to the following 6 places. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. And your state hall and your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. Then, how much money in rent are people getting from this channel? There you go. Nisi got $20,000 of rent from this channel, and now Elizabeth got $27,000. But Purple Hawks and members of this channel, their numbers have gone even higher. Jen getting $40,000. Next, I want you to get utilities. So reach out to all utility companies. And if you've reached out to 2, reach out to all of them. If you got 5. Here are the numbers that people have gotten for utilities, and now it's grown even higher. As Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. Next, I want you to get SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to Department of Agriculture. Eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. It pays a lot. It's money for food, and Mark's brother-in-law getting $21,000, growing to $26,000 a year. Why so much? Because SNAP benefits are being increased for everyone in every state, nationwide, lifetime, an average of 25% starting this month. It's huge. With that, I want you to get multiple items across the board, but I also want you to remember that you need to rely on the nonprofits. Here's Mark at $50,000, Lorraine at $106,000. Get that pen, paper ready. I'm going to show you the nonprofits. There are 5 nonprofits, and trust me, I've been doing these recordings for over a year. There is always someone who says, I called up my brother, sister's, uncle's, hairdresser's, nephew's dog walker, and there's no money in Austin, they tell me. Don't call the dog walker. The dog walker doesn't know. The dog walker doesn't know. Unless you've called the following 11 places, and all 11 places have said no to you, then it's not the case. I've shown you 5 places, I've showed you 6 places to reach out to from your city and local government. Here are 5 nonprofits. The 5 nonprofits have different eligibility than the federal government, and they pay for generally the same items under third stimulus, like rent, like utilities, and like mortgage assistance. Here are the 5 nonprofits also featured in the newsletters for viewers. They are United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. The next thing to know is that the 5 nonprofits pay for items that are not covered in third stimulus. For example, they pay for clothing. They pay for small appliances. Viewers have gotten refrigerators, portable furnaces, portable electric devices, and even small things fixed, like broken glass in a window. They've gotten things I didn't even know the nonprofits would pay for. Salvation Army is doing holiday gifts right now, so reach out to them. They do them in October, not in December. They do them in October. And they also help with shelter for homeless people into shelter, food, and other things like that. Here again are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. What's important to understand is that this is what I do. This is the core of this channel, helping people, getting people money. And there is absolutely, positively money everywhere, in every state, every city and county. It may not be in the first 6 places. It may be in the next 5 places, those 5 nonprofits. 11 places to call. Let's go to the next pot of money, and the next pot of money is the refund check from the for the unemployment benefits. Unemployment benefits are coming back from your state due to overpayment. Computer error. Average payment is anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to state to receive it. And then lastly, the refund check from IRS. That's the 2020 unemployment benefits you pay taxes on. Average payment is $1,200 to $2,000. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. If you've not become a member, what are you doing? The link is under the video. The membership newsletter sent out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system written by me, and also the Lalate alert system, which is at news.la.com/alerts, also in the description of this video. Totally free to sign up for that alert system. I want you to become a member because, listen, when we look at fourth stimulus with those 3 clusters, before we add anything in there, it's about $15,000 I can get for viewers of this channel. I've been doing this all along. When we look back at third stimulus, when it became law, I immediately said I can get you about $15,000 from third stimulus. Viewers have now, on average of this channel, gotten $40,000 from third stimulus. It's real money. It's there. And I got to tell you, this is a loving community. This is a loving family, but there is no darn other place anywhere on the planet where someone is focusing day in, day out to get you money under third stimulus. Real money that's there for you to get. Fighting to show you how to get the money, show you how to get the money, started with the IDL, now going to third stimulus, and is next going to be fourth stimulus. No one dedicates themselves to getting you this money. What do you have to do? Just pick up the phone. Just pick up the phone and call. Margaret, Johnny, Mark, they all have made multiple phone calls. Johnny is one of 3 people who started a few weeks ago, with $0 from this channel. By the middle of the week, 3 of them, including Johnny, got $40,000 from this channel. By the weekend, Johnny got $80,000. How many places did Johnny have to call to get $80,000? We got funded by 7 places in 5 days. So understand, he at least made 7 phone calls. He maybe made 10, maybe made 14 phone calls. But he got 7 places to pay him money. Don't make 1 phone call and close up shop saying, my dog walker's hairdresser said it doesn't pay. Because guarantee there's money there for you to pay. Don't do this thing that I'm not eligible. You are eligible. You are eligible across the board. You're eligible for the money either from the local government or from the nonprofits. This is real money that's available for you. And I've gotten the people the money on the third stimulus. It's still there, and that is why it's so exciting. That newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday features the big money under first, second, and third stimulus for you to get. And if you're one of those great viewers who've been in the comments, I've seen these wonderful comments the last few days saying, fourth stimulus, home repairs, how do I get it? Fourth stimulus, the money for the home, $25,000, how do I get it? I love it. As soon as it becomes law, I'm here. I'm going to show you how to get it. I guarantee you 100%, no one else is going to show you how to get this money. No one's going to tell you this money exists. No one's going to show you how to get it. I'm going to dedicate every video to showing you how to get it because that's what I do. That's what I've done with second stimulus, what I've done with third stimulus, and what I'm going to do with fourth stimulus. But the blessing is that this money is still there under third stimulus. So if you started this week at 0 and haven't gotten any money from this channel, today's your day. Start picking up the phone and calling. And with that, let's circle back to understanding where this recon is right now. It's a $3.5 trillion package in a subcommittee of the House. And that package has 3 clusters of checks in there that'll pay most of the viewers of this channel SSI, SSDI, single, married, every state. This is national. This is not a, someone earlier today said, it's not Santa Monica stimulus. No, it's not Santa Monica stimulus. Everyone always thinks it's like, this is a video about people in Los Angeles. No, this is not a video about people. This is a video about people in America. Yeah, and if you're tuning in from overseas, no, this is nationwide stimulus. This is not Santa Monica stimulus. And this is real money for you to get. In addition to those 3 clusters, people are pushing to add things in there. Bob Casey pushing to add big elder care in there that would happen right away for elders and people on disability. Then we have Maxine Waters and the 2 other legislators pushing to add $25,000 of hard cash for you to get to buy a house. Then we have the incredible legislators like Coons, Casey, Warren, Schumer, Wyden, there we go. AOC, Omar, Jalapal, and Pelosi all advocating for the inclusion of a monthly stimulus check. And now us. It's important to understand that your efforts have now gotten the attention of the #1 chief of staff for the #1 senator at issue for that recon. This message is so overwhelming. On Evenings LA tonight, I'll actually read you the message. The bottom line is how big it is. The bottom line is that they have now received more advocacies from the Lalate Purple Power than the number of signatures of the American petition. And that is, the American petition is at 2.9 million at the moment. So it means we are fully over 3 million. One viewer yesterday had a wonderful comment. He says, I've called all the legislators this week. Should I call again? Yeah. Keep on advocating every day that you can. Advocacy doesn't stop here because there's lobbyists trying to get things added. There's lobbyists trying to get things removed. And advocacy involves telling your particular narrative, why you need it, why your family needs it, why your community needs it. It involves a series of sentences of particularity that's unique to you. Everyone has a unique story. Tell what's unique to you, your city, your town, your community, your body. Maybe you've had a medical condition. I need it because of my divorce, because I broke my legs, because my town has been shut down. I lost my business. This is why I need it. Everyone has a unique story. And tell it as many places as you can tell it. Don't make one phone call. Don't make just 2 phone calls. Make as many as you can and make them repeatedly. Be polite, be professional, be respectful, and do not be Dora the Check Explorer either. And with that, coming up next is our big, bold, beautiful slate of programming, and I'm really excited. The show's now airing from 8:30 on till the next morning at 4 a.m. are all for stimulus. I was the very first to start reporting about forced stimulus when everyone else was out, I don't know, surfing. I was the first to report on forced stimulus in April 2nd of 2021. So you're now starting to see the overnight shows from April when they started to talk about what they wanted to put into forced stimulus. These are important shows because guess what? They're still in the same mindset. The same people who said what they wanted to add in April are still in the same mindset today. Those shows start later tonight. Coming up next is the 1 o'clock afternoon show, and then a big new afternoon show at 3 o'clock. So join me on both of them. Then we go into Evenings LA at 5, streams overnights evenings countdown at 6, and then Street and Stimulus at 7 o'clock. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video and consider becoming a member so you get that newsletter Monday through Friday. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me, and see you next on Afternoons LA.